Welcome to all of my students in today's mentoring session. And as usual, I'll be starting with the weekly sectoral analysis. First, I'll be starting with Nifty, Bank Nifty, private banks, PSU banks, and so on. I'll be moving to mid-cap index. All right. So recently, we have seen that market has been gun-go, and we have seen a lot of stocks moving on the higher side. But today was a day where market was extremely volatile. First, it opened higher, and then again we saw a lot of profit booking happening. So the first question is that, is it something bothering the market? Is the uptrend still supposed to continue? Are we supposed to hit the resistance? Many questions are going on, I'm pretty sure, in all of your minds. So first thing is, in the monthly time frame, what I can see, yes, RSI is at 80, almost near 80. Yes, it is overbought, but in the monthly time frame, I don't see anything which seems to be much of concern for the uptrend right now. If you see properly, this particular candle, all right, this is a sort of inverted hammer or a shooting star, but not extremely strong. And the reason is that the real body is slightly bigger in comparison to the wick. If we could have closed slightly even lower, lower than today's close, you can see spot is at 17,585. So if we could have closed even a little bit lower, then possibly we could say yes, this is a strong shooting star candle, and this candle has come up at a juncture where we are near resistance. In fact, generally I don't open Nifty future charts in weekly sectoral analysis. I use Nifty futures for my short-term, Nifty short-term view basically. But today I'll be opening this particular chart. You can see exactly selling has come from this Fibonacci extension. I think a couple of days back I gave the view that 17,700 levels will be tested. Why did I give that level? Was I could see that there is a room of possibly 100 to 200 points, but after that a resistance will come, and already markets were overstretched. So today's profit booking was not a surprise actually. And if we move to the daily charts basically, then you can see that currently Nifty has hit the 423.60% extension, Fibonacci extension, and there's no negative divergence, but it seems that the uptrend is continuing in the weekly charts, in the monthly charts. But yes, in the daily chart, prices are pretty much overstretched, they are overbought. It's not very easy to comment on the index right now. Trend is up for sure, there is no doubt about that. But in case if there is any sort of profit booking, and if index dips till maybe 17,400, or you can say maybe slightly even more, say around 17,260 or something, it would not be surprising to me. Actually, it is needed because market has been going up very swiftly, and it is like not exactly a vertical rally, but it is the prices have moved up very fast. So some sort of profit booking, some sort of consolidation, I think it is welcome. And if market decides to close above this and continue, obviously we cannot do anything. We just have to hold our position, keep trailing our stop losses, and keep making even more money. But if it comes down and hits say 17,400 or 17,250, I think it should not surprise us. All right. Now moving on to Bank Nifty. Now I think in my previous weekly sectoral analysis, I had shared that banking stocks are looking very, very strong, especially the private banks. You can see the private banking chart over here. It's looking exceptionally similar to the Bank Nifty. Only difference is that Bank Nifty has hit a lifetime high. Private banks have not. I think sooner or later, if this trend continues, even private banks will hit, the private banking index will hit a new lifetime high, because there is a lot of steam left over here. Overall, if you see today's candle is sort of not exactly a high wave candle. It looks like one, but yes, for the time being, for short term, you can say some sort of exhaustion is evident. But eventually with time, maybe short term profit booking comes up, maybe consolidation. but eventually with time it is expected that the prices will sooner or later inch higher, because overall the trend, the state of trend in banking is looking very strong. In fact, today if you saw the HDFC Bank stock closing very nicely. All right. Now PSU Banking Index. PSU Banking Index, now same stories I think getting repeated now from months, and it still remains the same, that until and unless this particular resistance is not surpassed, this resistance band, I think it's going to continue to haunt this index, and we cannot do anything about it. We have to be cautious about that. But I think 3-4 weeks back when we had a weekly sectoral analysis, even in last week I told that this particular candle, this is a dragonfly doji, which is the most bullish candle, it has come up at a good point, and then we have seen a big spurt over here in the price, a big rise in the price. But again, this weekly candle is not looking very bullish, and the reason for that is nothing else but this resistance. So there is some steam, but this resistance is not allowing the price to surpass that level. Once this particular zone is cut off with some sort of breakout or something, then we will be able to see some sort of vertical rally coming up over here. In the short term, yes, the PSU banks are trying, especially SBI, which is in its own league. I think currently it is a total disconnect from the PSU banking charts. You can see, in fact, SBI has made a new lifetime high. All right, you can see this. So basically SBI is just going up in its own trend. It's totally disconnected the PSU banking index. Only this candle is some sort of concern to me. I hope if prices don't come down much, if they keep on consolidating, and eventually if prices turn higher, you will see the trend continuing on the upside. Metals. Now metals, I have been repeating consistently that I'm absolutely not interested in initiating new positional trades. I will keep my stance on this metal index absolutely same, no change whatsoever. In the weekly time frame, we saw that we had a nice bounce from this channel breakout point, and we had a quick bounce. But in this bounce, what I saw was the stocks which participated were, I think, which at least I concentrated was, one was Tata Steel, little bit pullback, not much, little bit, and second was, I think, Hindalco Industries. It performed really nicely, I would say. Other than that, if you see the stocks which I track, if you see JSW Steel has underperformed, SAIL has underperformed, even Jindal Steel has basically underperformed. So coming back to the metal index, I think you need to concentrate only on the strong stocks. One is Hindalco, second one is Tata Steel. If at all you see the prices consolidating, or maybe they even hit this particular support band, you can see there's a gap over here, and then we see some sort of rise coming up, maybe you can go for swing trades, but don't just jump into any stock. For me, Tata Steel and Hindalco are the only two stocks which I would like to concentrate, at least for timing. Once other stocks start showing strength, then I might change my view on that. Auto. Now, auto has done a lot in the last week, I would say. In the monthly time frame, yes, it is consolidating and it is in an uptrend. In the weekly chart, if you see, prices have started turning up. It's not looking exceptionally strong, but this particular candle pattern is a very strong pattern. Generally, when these sort of patterns emerge, there is a one-way rally in any index or a stock. So keep a watch on auto pack, and even over here, if you see properly, this is a level which is a resistance. You can see this was the previous high, and from here selling came up, and even today there is a high wave candle over here. So if you see prices closing above, say, 10,500 or maybe around 10,600 in the auto pack, then you will see auto stocks inching higher. Finance. And now finance sector is no doubt in an uptrend, absolutely no doubt. But we should not forget that in the monthly time frame, slowly and steadily, price is trying to come near the resistance, which is at 18,917. Currently, the index is at 18,476. It's pretty far. As of now, there is no worries, but we should be keeping our eyes open on that, because next 5 days, if the prices keep rallying and we hit a resistance, then we should expect at least some sort of profit booking coming up in this particular index. If it doesn't, then even I will be surprised, because they have run up pretty nicely from 16,200 levels to around 18,600, which was today's high basically. And this candle is a doji, which is also a sign that some sort of uncertainty is there. This is not a change of trend or something. This is not a change of trend or something. But yes, some sort of profit booking may turn up if we see prices testing that 18,917 mark basically. IT pack I have been repeating, extremely overstretched, strong uptrend, no doubt about that. But yes, also extremely overstretched. And now you can see prices have hit and almost crossed the 423% extension in monthly time frame, which is a remarkable rally, I would say. In the weekly time frame, if you see properly, some sort of inverted hammer is visible even in this particular candle. No doubt that today is not the end of the month, but yes, we can see some sort of profit booking is evident on the higher levels. If I'm using these 2 points to connect for the Fibonacci extension, we can see exactly, even in the weekly chart we are at resistance. We saw that in the monthly chart we are at resistance, in the weekly chart we are at resistance, and in the daily chart what we can see is that prices have made a higher high and we have a triple negative divergence. If I convert this index into line chart, we have a higher high, 3 consecutive higher highs and 3 consecutive lower highs. So I would avoid this particular index. I would avoid going long in IT stocks. I would stay put and just stay at the sidelines and concentrate on some other stocks and some other sectors. Pharma pack. Pharma pack trend is up in the index. In the weekly time frame, I think this hammer has come up at a very good point, because this is the previous high and exactly at the same point we have this hammer, we have this bullish belt hold. But the rally is not able to continue due to the reason is I think the prices are consolidating even in the weekly and in the daily chart. And again, there is some sort of disconnect going on between the Nifty Pharma chart, Nifty Pharma index and the stocks, because apart from Sun Pharma, which I think even came down today, but at least it is outperforming in comparisons to the Aurobindo Pharma and all other stocks which have recently collapsed. So one is Sun Pharma and second is I think Cipla. These are the two stocks which I can see are showing some sort of strength. They are not able to rally because consolidation is happening in the pharma index, but I think once that consolidation comes to an end and if pharma stocks start picking up, even the beaten down stocks, if they start picking up, then I would not look at the beaten down stocks. I would look at these stocks because they did not go down when the pharma index was coming down, which means eventually if the prices go higher, if the pharma index goes higher, then these are the two stocks which will start outperforming first. FMCG index. FMCG index, thanks to ITC recently, I think in the last weekly sectoral analysis, price was somewhere over here, I think at 212, and I clearly told that keep a watch on this stock. If there is any sort of buy signal coming up in your trading setup, then have a look at this stock. Basically, it looks very, very interesting, and you can see from 212 to 13, the price has eventually tested 237 within a matter of 5 days. All right. So coming back to the pharma index, if we look at the monthly chart, prices are in an uptrend, no problem whatsoever. Trend is extremely strong. In the weekly time frame, I can see some sort of resistance coming up over here, and there is this candle is inverted hammer or a shooting star. So yes, this resistance is showing its part. It's playing its part over here basically, because sometimes what happens is price doesn't test the resistance, but before testing the resistance, prices will start cooling off. So that's what happening over here. All right. So we can see a resistance, a negative candle in the weekly time frame, and we can see RSI is also at 82. And if I go back to the daily chart, we can see that there is some sort of negative divergence which has turned up over here. So you need to be careful in FMCG stocks, some sort of consolidation, little bit of profit booking also if it happens in the short term, not in the medium term, in the short term, I would not be surprised. All right. Realty Pack. Realty Pack is a very interesting index right now. You can see strong uptrend in the monthly time frame. In the weekly time frame, although there is some sort of negative divergence which has turned up over here, and there is a sort of inverted hammer, two consecutive shooting stars, even one shooting star over here. So basically what is happening, buying is happening at lower level, but somehow selling is also coming up at the higher level. And I would suggest be careful in the realty sector. I'm not saying to stay away from that. Some sort of consolidation is possible, it's probable. And once that consolidation is over, and then if you see prices going up, try to look for swing trades and avoid positional trades. I would suggest that. Mid-cap index. Mid-cap index, if you check properly, this is a negative candle pattern basically. You can see this. You can see there is a doji and there is a extremely big red candle. So this is not a good looking chart in the daily time frame. In the weekly time frame, if you see, there is some sort of profit booking happening, some sort of shooting star has been made in the weekly chart. In fact, today we saw few shooting stars made in the weekly charts, correct? So this is a proof that market is clearly showing that profit booking can happen in the next few days. If it happens, please don't be surprised. Actually, it is needed in the current market scenario. Even in the mid-cap index, I'm not interested to buy anything as of now. Keep trailing your stop losses if you have any open positions from lower levels. And if you get stopped out, just get out of those stocks. All right. So be careful, trade wisely, and do not forget that yes, we are in an uptrend, but we are also overstretched and near a resistance level. So I'm not saying don't trade at all, but trade very, very wisely and don't start to hunting trades, because understand one thing, that when market is trending, money is made easily. When markets are not trending, when they are sideways, it's equally important to not do anything and maybe wait patiently, wait for good times, wait for good high probable trades, because high probable trades generally stand out in front of you. All right, so trade wisely. Take care.